The other part of the diversity visa lottery, which is very, very crucial, if you don't meet this aspect, please don't apply. Don't waste your time to apply if you don't meet this criteria or you don't possess this document. In the most recent applications, 2-3 years ago, the Department of State, or rather the US government, introduced the passport requirement in the application. This is another security feature to make sure that if you are the one who is applying, you are the one who is applying. To avoid scams, fraud, people stealing identity of others. Because it is easy, I can go there, I can find Ernest Boniface Makulilo, I can get the picture online, on social media, I can know what is the education level, I can know the city of birth, all those information, but you cannot get my passport number. So it can help to protect the identity of applicants. So that is good way. Advantage of that is bad, but its advantage, it has reduced the number of applicants. It's bad, but for some people who have applied, it's good. So the requirement is this, as follows. You must have passport, valid passport. When I say valid, it means the passport which is current in use in your country. There are countries, like in East Africa, they have introduced a new passport. So it means the old passport, if in your country are no longer used, that passport is invalid, is not a valid passport. Meaning you cannot use the old passport of Tanzania, the old passport of Rwanda, the old passport of Kenya, the old passport of Sudan, the old passport of Uganda to travel, to go to Europe or to go other countries. Those passports are no longer applicable. Even if the expiration date is still maybe 2028, but those are not valid passport any longer. You cannot travel with those passports. So number one, passport must be valid, current passport of your country. Number two, must be an expired passport. If you use expired passport, you'll be disqualified on the diversity visa lottery. And when we say unexpired, it means, for instance, you are applying today, the passport must be valid, passport must be unexpired on the day of applying. If you are applying, let's say on October 10th, and the passport is going to expire on October 11, you are allowed to use that passport. Don't ask me the question, but my passport is going to expire in January next year. How will I go to America? Forget about how you'll go to America. The instruction is, on the day of applying, is your passport valid? If the answer is yes, go ahead and apply with it. If the passport expires after you apply, there is no problem. When the results come, you win, you will need to have a new passport. The new passport is the one you are going to fill in the DS-260, which is the visa form. The new passport, where the step will be going to be put the visa, is what we are going to put on the in the DS-260, which is the visa form. But when the Kentucky Consular Center asks for the documentation, you are going to send the old passport and the new passport. When you go to the interview, you'll go with the old passport, the passport you used to apply, and the new passport. If your passport is lost, you still know the number is still valid, you can use it. If you apply, maybe the passport is getting lost. Remember, you need to have the police report that the passport has been lost. You need to have the information when they request for the documentation, if you win, to say, I applied using my passport, and this is the police record that indicates passport number so and so, I lost the passport, and this is the new passport. Again, I made a video about the temporary passport. The temporary passport is allowed to use to apply for the diversity visa lottery. If you don't have the passport, go and apply the temporary passport. Temporary passport is a piece of paper, different from the passport book. Passport book is 10 years. Temporary passport is 6 months to 1 year valid. Temporary passport, you travel within your region. Meaning, if you're from East Africa, you can travel within East Africa. If you're from West Africa, you can travel within West Africa. If you whatever, so it's a passport for a shorter time. So this temporary passport is allowed. You are allowed to use this temporary passport to apply for the DV lottery. If you use this one, when it is written, you can go and read the information. The passport number is starting with the TP, then there is a number. TP is the abbreviation for the word temporary passport. Don't use the word TP, the number. Put just the number and the letters which are there. Don't put the word TP. But the bigger passport, some countries, for instance in East Africa, these passports have letters and numbers, the big passport. Go ahead, for instance in Tanzania they put TAE, then there is a number. Go ahead and put the letters and numbers for the passport. But passport in America, they have just the numbers. They put the number, they don't put the letters. But if your country has letters and numbers, go ahead and put letters and numbers in your passport. Only on the temporary passport, the word TP, don't put the word TP. Because it's just abbreviation, doesn't mean anything. So you are allowed to do that way. What if you don't have passport? Go and apply for temporary passport. Temporary passport is about $5 to $10 in your country. You can get it within 1 to 2 days. It's easier to get it. You are allowed to use to apply. Don't apply at all if you don't have the passport, because you'll win and you'll be denied the visa. If you apply, there are 3 exceptions. I'll put 4, but 3 exceptions where you are allowed to apply without a passport. Don't choose this exception unless otherwise you meet. Number 1, you must be stateless, which you are not. If you put you are stateless, you have to prove you are stateless. Very few people in this world are stateless. Where were you born? You are born in Ghana, you are born in South Africa, you are born in Sudan, born in Tanzania, Kenya. Obviously you are not stateless, regardless of your status. Being refugee, you are not stateless. So don't put stateless because you are a refugee. No. If you are born in Burundi, yeah, you are born in Burundi. If you are born in Somalia, you are born in Somalia. Doesn't matter whether you are a refugee or not. You are not stateless. The second exception, you must be coming from a communist-controlled country, and you are unable to get the passport from that country, from that government. I guarantee you, no country in Africa is a communist-controlled country. No country in Asia which is eligible to apply is a communist-controlled country. So don't put your communist-controlled country. Failure to get the passport, whether you are late, whether because of the pandemic, whether because of the war in your country, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. The only reason you cannot get the passport is you are coming from a communist-controlled country, or you are stateless, or you have a waiver letter from the Secretary of Homeland Security and the Secretary of State of the United States of America. And in order to get that waiver, you must already be in the United States. There is a form you have to fill. You are already here. I believe until you come here, you already have the passport. So those are the only 3 exceptions you are allowed to apply without a passport. Don't put any exemption unless otherwise you meet. I guarantee you 99.99% of you don't meet. So go and get the passport. Whether it's temporary passport, whether a passport book, you must get it. If you don't get it, don't apply. I know 3 people applied without a passport. 1, they were denied. I know 1 person applied with expired passport, went to the interview, was denied because used expired passport. That is wrong. It's very, very wrong. Another exception or applicability is if you are a refugee and you have the UN passport, UNHCR, which is the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, they provide a certain type of passport. If you have those passports, you are allowed to use those passports. That is the other exception you can be able to use if you are a refugee and you have a refugee passport. Out of that, don't apply without a passport. And the passport is required to the main applicant. If I'm the husband applying, and I say I'm married and have children and my spouse don't need to have passport to be part of the application. But if my spouse wants to apply, if my spouse wants to apply, my spouse also needs to have a passport. If wants to apply as a main applicant, if wants to apply as a principal applicant, will be required to have a passport. And I encourage you also you to apply as a main applicant, your spouse also to apply as a main applicant. You can have 2 chances, 2 opportunities to apply and win, than just, oh, because I'm the father of the house, I'm the person in charge of the house, let me apply alone. You'll lose, but your wife can win. So give the opportunity for both you and your wife to apply. Possible one of you or both of you might win. So increase the chance by both your spouse and yourself to apply. Don't use the passport of your spouse like to apply. There is one guy in Ghana, use it to apply, use the passport of his wife. Obviously that is wrong. That is a crime. To impersonate another person, obviously you are going to be denied the visa. So if your wife is the one with the passport, let your wife apply. If it's you with the passport, apply. Don't use the same passport you to apply with that passport and use your wife to claim the same passport. That's wrong. Making a mistake of the passport number, that means you put a wrong passport. Putting a wrong passport is better to have a wrong name. It is okay to have a mistake in date of birth, but a mistake on passport will automatically going to be a reason to be disqualified for your visa. So make sure that you don't make a mistake of any number on your passport and the expiration date of the passport. If you have a child who is 17, make sure also that child, despite you to apply as a main applicant, add your child. Make sure that your child also has a passport. If he's 17, can apply as also a main applicant. If the child wins, and the results will come at the age of 18, can come out to America. So you increase all the chances, find all the ways you can increase the chances of yourself and your children. It's opportunity. Make sure that they have the passport. You never know.